Welcome to Cold Hard Trash CRT episode 7010. I'm your host, Trashcan Jones.
And I'm Breeeg, your fellow host.
Yeah, it's episode 80, but it's easier for me to remember it that way, so 7010
What are
it
you,
is.
French?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. I took French in high school, and learning to say bigger numbers, you basically have to do math. It's stupid.
Yeah.
French loses. French is the worst language. They lose. They're wrong when they made their language. Someone should have told them that they were wrong.
Isn't like 400 and what is it, like 880 is like 4 2010s and 4 20s or something like that?
It's like 4 100s and like 5 20s or something. Yeah, like you have to put it together. It's the point where like French mathematicians and scientists just don't use that. They just use English like lettering and stuff and numbering and saying it because it's way easier.
Yeah. Now, that's a French language for you. They have an institute that protects the legitimacy of it.
They just read the numbers out like 1 2 4 6 9. Like they don't try to like actually say it as it would be correct in French.
Mm-hmm.
At least is what I'm told. Not like I speak with a lot of French mathematicians and scientists, but
Yeah,
when I
you're
learned
not on-
French, my
not-
teacher told me that.
You're not on French mathematician talk?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, no, I'm not in the Telegram chats with the French mathematicians and scientists and shit. Apologize. That's not my my usual talking circle.
So, we've been checking out some of the new WarioWare-like indie games.
Yeah, you
Very
played
cool.
Buster Jam in between the next episodes.
Yeah.
Super cool game. Check it out on Steam. Its demo is free to play right now.
There's also a demo for Mindwave, which is another one
Also pretty cool.
of the sort. My feelings about this is like nice. 2
Yeah.
WarioWare-like games. Like, they haven't really been doing that much with the series. This is like 2 full WarioWare games are going to be coming out in 2026.
Yeah, when Mindwave is just like basically straight WarioWare, it seems like, where it's just straight mini games, whereas Buster Jam gives you like an overworld and a little bit more to explore. Who knows what that's going to be? You admonished the fact that I had even suggested it had RPG-like to it. There was an RPG, but who knows?
Yeah.
It's just a demo. Maybe it'll have more like side quests and backtracking and things to do to where the overworld will become like a more open world.
Are you going to
Who
get
knows?
stats? Are you going to level up? Nah.
Who knows? Shit, you might get
It's
more abilities
crazy.
like Paper Mario style. Who knows?
I mean, maybe. I just don't think. I really
Like
don't
badges
think
to give you like extra lives and stuff like that, like things that don't exactly alter the gameplay, but like you can change what you go into battle with, just stuff like that.
This to me, this feels like a, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bicycle type deal. Like, I just don't think they have any of that. Anything
You're
like that.
going around collecting coins for what? What are you collecting coins for? You don't even get to spend any of them in the demo,
True.
right? That's you got to get
Cosmetics?
something. Maybe, but there's just so many of them. I would think
Bag
cosmetics,
checks?
it would just be something to find. I feel like it's going to be either putting into maybe like not exactly skill points, but maybe just like you can up the amount of lives you get for a boss. Maybe you get like, the ability to buy perks. Like if you lose a minigame, your first loss each time you do a boss doesn't count or something like that. Not something like super RPG where you're going straight into your stats like speed, health, agility, or strength and whatnot, but I feel like it could maybe have Paper Mario aspects.
What's the first game that comes to mind when you think of collecting coins?
Mario.
What do you spend them on in there? Nothing. Just points.
Fair. That's fair, but Mario I feel like gets the grandfather in because it was when they first had coins, it was just about score. Like nowadays, Mario coins are just a formality. Like even the new games, you don't spend the coins on anything, but you still get them just because, formality.
Yeah.
You get a better score. I think if you get 100 coins, you get a life. That's what they're always for, right? That's what the coins are for. If you collect 100 coins, you get a life. So maybe they're doing the same thing in that game, but I feel like that's just kind of an old-timey. You got to get a shop nowadays.
So, to be fair, I did have 4 lives in the second round of microgames, and only 3 in the first round. And I did collect coins in between.
But the second round was more boss fight, whereas the first round was just kind of tutorial.
It could be either way. We don't know. But
Yeah.
the storylines of each of these games seems pretty interesting, and the fact that they're all like different. So the original WarioWare, its whole deal is Wario saw how much money you could make selling games. So he's like, I'm going to make the smallest games possible, and I'll make the most money because I'll just be selling so many games. And he conscripts
so many different ones.
Yeah, his friends and townspeople in to the idea and gets them to join the company. And that's where the microgames come about, And he does not pay them because he is stingy. Mr. Krabs looking ass. But that's the idea. That's the idea behind all the games, right? And so you got like WarioWare Touched? I don't know. The one for the DS, which everyone's just sort of standing around in a lobby type deal, and then I guess they like pitch their games to you. But the games are like themed after like who is helping you make it. You get like the Mona level and like the Dr. Krygor levels and stuff like that. And there's a little bit of like their personalities in the games, it seems, which is pretty cool. And that's something that these other games have also copied and brought into their own thing. So in Buster Jam, like when you start fighting the lizards, there's like a boss battle where you're like running on the giant snake guy.
Yeah.
Which, who knows if that is just a micro game or if that's like an actually thing that's happening and you're controlling the character. Like,
yeah, it's like it's kind of Cuphead-esque in that way, especially with the overworld into like different sort of things. And they didn't really give you any kind of platforming challenges. I mean, it was just the first like demo of the game, so I definitely could see it of like, the next level actually gives you a more hard puzzle, because like your first ones were just like reading the graffiti on the wall and hitting the blocks, right? So I could see like maybe they evolve that into doing something a little bit more to where it's actually a bit of a platforming puzzle, or a bit more of like, they're giving little hints to the world. I think this overworld is going to be more like a lot more than you might think. Who knows?
I mean, I just kind of hope they don't add more platforming, to be completely honest. Like
platforming specifically, it was a little weird with that isometric angle, but I could think like puzzle wise, like
puzzles,
find codes
I'm
or
down for
backtrack to find people. Especially because you talked to that one lady, not to really spoil anything, but she was like, "Oh, my kids, I'm worried about them," and your character's like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of them." So I figure, I don't know, maybe that's like sort of a allude to a side quest. Like maybe there are side quests in there that are like, "Oh, I can backtrack and it'll get me more coins or maybe an upgrade for something that'll be useful to me."
Yeah, like so that I don't want more of that type of stuff in the game personally. Like I'm fine with like walking around and talking to colorful characters, and I guess there's some like little challenges like, okay, you got to stop the guys from running across the street. Just keep it light. Like, I don't want quests. I don't want any of that. I want to play the little mini games and I can walk around the world and like sort of understand the people better. But just walking from one end of the map to the other one is not the enjoyable part of the game.
See, and that's the thing. I think because they made it more than just walking to the end of the map, they gave you like the spike pits to jump over. They gave you the people to talk to, and perhaps the potential to get quests for backtracking and whatnot. I think it's going to be kind of a big map type thing. I don't know if they're going to try to expand on it. There's going to be like, oh, you might have to go back and do stuff.
I hope they don't.
I don't.
It's.
I would kind of like it if they do, to be honest, because then it gives me. I was liking Buster and Bridget and their whole thing and their whole dynamic with meeting everybody. Shit, why not? Let me go into more of this world. I'm not just straight into the WarioWare and nothing else. I want to see more of what Buster and Bridget are doing in this world.
Yeah, well, see, the WarioWare is kind of the. It's crazy that that's the one that doesn't include any of this other stuff, right? Like, I feel like you could have made, like, Nintendo could have made something bigger, and then the indie scene would just be like, let's just do the fun part. But in the WarioWare games, like, legit, there's no quest. It's just a straight through and through story.
Right.
Go from A to B.
In the actual WarioWare games, yeah. Like, it's same thing with, it seemed like with the other one, was it Mindwave? It was just the WarioWare games and really kind of nothing else.
But it's similar in the fact that like before I went into those WarioWare games, we were all standing in a lobby. So I guess
yeah, but it was all cutscenes. It wasn't like a thing, right?
Well, it wasn't just cutscenes. Like you would choose who to talk to and ask questions.
Oh, I didn't realize. I missed that part.
I skipped it pretty quickly because I wanted to get to the microgames. But
your brain rotted already.
It's not fucking brain rot. It's just you're
sounds
here.
Like it. Just get me past the dialogue. Give me the games. Give me the micro games.
It's because like I'm trying to show you, hey, here's a WarioWare like game. And I'm not going to sit there for 20 minutes asking everybody in the room what they think about Mindwave. And I'm saying
that's what the developers might have intended you to do. Maybe they wanted you to have like this kind of more, I don't know what it would be called, not exactly cinematic, but more story-like experience where you sit and try to experience this world. And the WarioWare is just kind of, the gameplay of it.
So I am interested in that, right? It's just the fact that I wanted to show you the WarioWare-like aspects of it. I'm not going to sit around and do the conversations. But I do think they're cool. Like I would welcome the break in between, but I don't want like actual gameplay in between, Like that's not really important to me.
Well, if it led to different unique micro games, especially like if you were going to do the side quest and it was like a micro game that you didn't get normally, if you went into the side quest, that could be like an incentive. The same way that they would do, I guess loot in other games or like other unique game experiences that you would only get from doing a side quest. Maybe they could expand that in the micro game format. You get a unique micro game for doing the side quest that you wouldn't have gotten if you just continued on with the main quest. And maybe that micro game is a little bit more fun. Maybe it gives you a unique reward or something. I don't know. I'm not exactly a game developer, but there's room. You don't
need any of this stuff. That's not the style of the game. If you're doing micro games, right? That is like boom, 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 boom. You're technically playing a different game within the game every like 5 seconds. Like it doesn't need these drawn out things. You have other products that provide that, and that's good.
Yeah, but like, Buster Jam did that. Between the micro games, you had the big walking sections of being able to talk to people, and it seemed to work well. It flowed nicely.
I liked talking to people. I liked talking to people. It was so unnecessary to be like jumping over pits and stuff like that.
You thought so? You didn't like that aspect of it?
The graffiti thing was fine because it's a puzzle, and the crosswalk thing is fine because it's like it fits within the world. Random spikes and shit, like I don't know. I don't need it. But it's so I don't want to talk too much about the things that I don't need from it, right? Like that's just putting it out there. Anyways,
right, so, but at the same time, they could be things. It's only a demo we're playing. It could be things potentially what they're expanding upon. If they release the full game and it is like this, I mean,
and then it will come out, and then I will say I do not care for those parts, or maybe I will like it.
I guess.
But probably I'll feel just about as much. But I like talking to the people. That's the thing, is that just chatting with the random people. They have funny little things to say. They got good enough wit in writing and stuff like that. It's quite enjoyable.
Maybe they'll be able to say something to hook you into doing a side quest. Maybe something will just like resonate with you enough. You'll be like, all right, well, let me go backtrack and do this thing.
Anyways,
you never know.
So WarioWare has the whole like, okay, you just get your friends to help you do this stuff, right? And Buster Jam, as we just saw, is like, you have an evil wizard that came, and this is the microgame thing is kind of like combat in between you and like the Lizard League and the statues or the Black Knives. And like a random inanimate statue, which I kind of wish I lost a life on that just to see like what happens.
What is a statue into it or something?
Yeah, like what's a statue gonna do to me? But it's cool that it's like the idea of combat. Like this is how you face off against other people, because in WarioWare they just sort of put you in like whatever situation. That's the context, right? Oh, you are running away from a falling boulder. You are like on your bicycle, or you're on your like moped or whatever, and you need to make it to the football game because you're Mona Pizza and you're a cheerleader as well as a pizza person. And so like that's how that all works. which, it's fine context and stuff. I like the idea of there being more of a story to it, where it's not always just, oh, Wario's a greedy bastard, and he decided to do all this stuff again to make money. Which it's fine for what it is, but it's cool that like there's a different thing in indies for that. Mm-hmm. Buster Jam, the whole thing with the wizard, it's cool to see how they incorporate like the characters that you're doing the level with again. And just like the main characters that you play as, Buster and Bridget. And
yeah, seeing them do all their little like side things, like actually fighting them in between the microgames you're talking about.
That too, but it's about them being included in the microgames. It's just like WarioWare, which for Wario it's like, oh, he's very self-centered, and so he's including himself in all of these games. With Buster and Bridget, since it's not like the game doesn't acknowledge the fact that they're making these microgames, it's just sort of things that they've done. Like one where you like you're Bridget.
Buster's a baby and you're rattling his little rattle.
Yeah, and like you're Bridget and you got to kiss Buster on the nose, and it makes him blush.
Yeah,
stuff like that, and especially the one where you're Buster and you're dreaming about stabbing the wizard in the shin a bunch of times.
His shins.
It's so funny. It very much has like the
like
smiling
standing on his
friends
shoes,
humor.
stabbing him in the shins just a bunch of times.
So that's
the
all
comedy in that game is on point. Especially, I mentioned it while you were streaming it. The dialogue that they go through is just, it feels real natural. Like it can almost be like you would think like that little bit of pandering, but it actually comes off kind of natural when they say things like, I can't even, like, I'm drawing a blank on like the trendy things they would try to say, but I couldn't even. It came off as okay. It didn't seem like pandering. It actually was good written dialogue.
To me, it feels kind of like it has a hint of like Smiling Friends-ish type humor.
Yeah.
I forget the name of their podcast or their stream. Oni Plays?
Oni Plays their thing on YouTube, and I don't know if they do a podcast. They might.
But it's like the same guys in that, right? They hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach Hagel and them.
So that, it feels like a little bit of that humor. Like the way that they draw Baby Buster, like clapping at
especially.
The thing with the... very, it's like 2-frame clapping cycle.
Yeah. It's like very like off-putting and kind of creepy, but like funny at the same time. Like weird little, it's almost like, the exact same alley as Smiling Friends.
And it has its own style to it. It's very built into its style. Which it's charming, It's not like this crazy, big effects type deal. It's just sort of, it looks like it's in Flash, like a Flash game, but it definitely plays better than a Flash game. I don't think you could do that in Flash and have to be that receptive.
Yeah, no. I think Flash is like dead now, right? It's like obsolete. I don't think you can make anything in Flash anymore.
Yeah. Newgroundsy. It's a little Newgroundsy.
Yeah,
modern
definitely.
Newgroundsy.
It has like that same kind of vibe.
And also the controls for it. So in WarioWare, typically, Nintendo likes doing all this shit with the different ways you can play with the stylus and the touchscreen and the Wii, so you can move and stuff like that. But Buster is, you have Z and then you have the arrow keys, and every single thing you do is going to be done with Z or the arrow keys. And that can get a little bit confusing sometimes because I just need to remember that Z is never, ever, ever, ever going to be jump. Unless it is at some point, but...
With spacebar or up, that's usually jump.
The spacebar is not used. But, so... Like, sometimes I, like, don't know what Z is going to do, like, which button I'm supposed to press, whether it's Z or up, or, like, what my controls are. Like, what is it, Dinosaurus 2 versus the ape.
Awesome Ape.
Yeah, like, I didn't know, I had to duck in that situation, and I didn't know at first. But, like, that doesn't always happen. For the most part, the way that the games are timed, it gives you, like, one opportunity to, like, you know that you're on a timer, so you, like, immediately start pressing buttons as soon as you're in. It gives you, like, one opportunity to mess up at the beginning to figure out what to do to then complete it before the time runs out. It seems
right,
like they're
the
that
jumping ones. If you mess up one jump, then you can still probably make it.
Mm-hmm. But Mindwave takes a very different approach to this, which instead of it just being a Z and a couple of buttons, this goes into the vein of WarioWare Smooth Moves and Shake It, which is the one for the Wii and then the newer one for the Switch, because they did two on the Switch, where it will tell you how you are going to be interacting with the game right before it starts. So in those WarioWare games, especially the one on the Wii, let's say, you would go to a new level and then it would tell you a new form, and it would be like, hold the Wii remote like a broom, and it'll give you a little blurb about how elegant it is to hold the Wii remote like a broom. And then right before a minigame comes up, it will pull up a little sign and it says, okay, this is the broom form or the remote form or something like that. So then you move the thing into position and then you play the game based off of like the starting position that you need to be in, as opposed to how they do it in Buster, where it's just, the same controls every time. Mindwave goes in that vein, where so you have games where it is just the mouse. You have ones where it's just WASD. You have WASD, spacebar, and mouse. Like, you have these different combinations of them. As well as games where you're expected to type. Like, just full-on type.
Yeah,
and so they get the whole keyboard.
Remember, there's one of them. Respond angrily.
And there's one where you needed to just, like, type in the word that they show you, So, it has all those different types of controls, which I think is honestly going to create better gameplay for it in the long run. It felt better to play because I was like doing shit with my mouse, and there's stuff like, okay, stitch these in order, and you got to put your mouse over all the different circles 1 through 4. It feels like it has like almost like an Invader Zim style to it. Just like the head shapes and stuff like that remind me a lot of Invader Zim.
Yeah, I could see that, like the art style too, like the eyes definitely give me some Zim vibes.
Exactly. Yeah, like just lots of cool stuff. And like the mini games themselves, like the way that they end feels more like WarioWare than Buster does. But like Buster still definitely keeps the feel where, again, with just stabbing the guy in the shin. Like once you complete the task, the timer still keeps on ticking, and the guy's just screaming. Like you get that like time at the end. So enjoying that's part of the WarioWare games too. But Mindwave just feels like it gets it a little closer to what they were originally doing, and Mindwave also has the whole thing where the types of games that you're playing are based off of who you're going against. So Mindwave is also an idea that what you're doing is sort of like combat. Right. In a tournament against other people.
Yeah, they did a whole thing of like, oh, whoever's on the other side of that door, all I got to do is win. But I don't remember even seeing like who you were fighting against when you were streaming in Mindwave.
So that was the girl that was like in between every microgame. Like there's a girl with white, like almost.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you give you get the option of choosing between you or her. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize she was the first opponent.
Yeah. So, I possibly could have ran into her and talked to her before the game too. Now that I think about it. But it felt very cool to like have that other person. It's not like some evil like lizard guy, it's not like someone that you want to fight for like ideological reasons. Like you're in a like competitive thing. It's just a competition where you invade the other's mind and you like beat them by doing all these tiny little tasks in their head somehow.
Right.
And so you just see like the personality of someone who isn't necessarily like out to get you. You're just both competing and trying to win. But yeah, I think it's all of them are very cool. I will be getting both of these games when they come out.
It's cool to see like the WarioWare game mechanics be added into more things, even though you're kind of like stepping away from perhaps if it goes into more of the RPG fashion for Buster Jam. If Buster Jam goes into the more RPG route, I'll be there for it. I feel like that's cool. It's a cool way of like integrating the WarioWare style of gameplay. If you're gonna give me the whole like story and RPG like world that I can get into, I fucks with it. I like Buster and Bridget.
They're very cute.
Yeah, they're a cute
They
couple.
have a lot of personality. Well, in Mindwave, your character's like, I don't know, more mysterious.
Yeah, it's more of like trying to figure out what exactly the story is in Mindwave, whereas like you kind of get of what the whole deal of Buster and Bridget is,
Man,
and
the
like
first
their
step-
whole MacGuffin.
The very first cutscene, it's like, well, hey, thanks for doing that demolition job. Oh, don't worry, we are a demolition company. Oh, hey, who's
That's
that?
what we do.
The wizard. Oh, he's gonna start
I
telling
thought
us
I
his
beat
evil
him
plan
up already.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna take over the
pretty-
city. Let's go stop him. Boom. You have your, your thrust into adventure. Season
Right,
the sword.
you got your rising action, you got everything right there, easy. But then like Buster and Bridget are so like actually a decent, like good couple. Like I want to know more about them. I want to learn more about the world and everything. It actually got me interested. So if they give me more opportunities to learn, I'll take it. If it turns to be like, a weird like Lisa the Joyful type story where it's like actually super deep, then fuck it. I'll take that. I want it.
I don't think it's a good fit for the genre, but if it ends up that way, more power
You
to
never
you.
know. You never know.
I do never know. Well, we will know. But we
Eventually,
can't know.
yeah. Once the game comes
Just
out,
yet.
2026 at some point.
Yeah. I
At
hope you
some
do play it
point.
on a stream tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm planning to. I'm planning on playing Mind. I keep it's not Mind Jam. It's
Mindwave and Buster Jam.
Mindwave and Buster Jam. I keep mashing the two together. I want to. That'd be really cool to show people that.
Yeah. Also,
It
Buster
seemed really
like
fun when you were playing them.
apparently this is part of like an existing series that these guys are making called Buster Boom. Which seems it looked like a 2D platformer.
Interesting. I had never heard of Buster Boom. Is it like a larger series? They already have other games that have come out?
I think it's the only one, but it's the same characters, but it looks to me like it's a 2D platformer. Like, I didn't really look into it. I just noticed the fact that Buster Jam, like, these aren't, like, new characters that they're showing us. They're established characters from another game. But, seeing the pivot in genre, I'm looking at it, and they're definitely presenting them as if, you can learn about them if you don't know about them already.
Yeah, apparently there's this game called Boom Buster. Features 7
Yeah.
stages. Involves the player dropping bombs on color-specific pipes. Oh, I never heard of Boom Buster.
Yeah, the same character.
Neat. And now he's got Bridget.
Yeah, he got a girlfriend.
And they're perfect together. Eating pizza and watching Dinosaurs 2, Revenge of the Apes, or whatever.
I mean, and they like have the similar funny noses. And they
Is
both
this the
like
same
working for
people?
the destruction company.
Yeah. Is this the same people that made Pizza Tower?
I don't think so.
The art. I was gonna say the art style looks somewhat similar, but yeah, no, it is not.
Yeah, I think Pizza Tower like brought that type of art style back, but Pizza Tower looks like it's straight up from MS Paint.
It's strange. I was gonna say Boom Buster. I don't think ever actually released. It's got its demo out, but I don't think it was ever a fully released, actualized
Doesn't?
game.
Okay, well, like I said, I did not look that much into it, but I saw that it exists.
Oh, and Bridget
So-
was in the original one too. Seems like she was just part of the UI more than a playable character. But cute. They've actually fleshed them out more.
It's really debatable that she's a playable character in this one too, to be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's just kind of your secondary. Which who knows? Like I said, there was
It could
the
be
whole like
multiplayer.
the one thing that I really noticed was that when you were doing those road crossing sections, Bridget became like no clip.
Yeah.
Like, she like faded out a little
Just
bit.
couldn't
To where I
take
was
damage.
like, oh, right. So I was like, is that going to be a thing of like maybe if you had a second player in, then she wouldn't be that way, and you actually had to do it yourselves. Yeah, little details like that. Who knows how far this game's gonna go? If it's actually like a full, Battletoads co-op style, but also like a little bit of an RPG and also have some WarioWare elements. Shit, that's a lot of things coming together. A lot of things that I like.
Yep.
I'd fuck with it. I'd make you play it with me, even if you're like, oh, I don't want to do the RPG. I don't think it needs that. I'd make you play it with me.
I'm not. You're driving me insane saying that there's anything relating to RPGs in this game. There's zero.
I'm not saying
there is
that
no indication. You're just saying.
There definitely is indication.
I wish they would make it an RPG. There are no levels.
No,
there's one currency.
Definitely...
There's people you could talk to on the side of the street. That's not an RPG thing. There's so many different types of games you could play that all include the ability to talk to NPCs and an overworld. Like Cuphead, which is not an RPG.
Yeah,
which
no,
is also not
I did
similar to the game. But
I did say it had Cuphead aesthetics, but I was just saying that it could lead to having RPG elements to it. Those things in there, like you're saying, yeah, they're not in, like, they're in other games that aren't RPGs, but they're also in RPGs. If they have the groundwork to take this into somewhat of RPG elements. I'm not saying that's going to be a full RPG with stats and whatnot. If they add side quests, though, like that thing of like, hey, go back to this street and talk to this person so you can do the thing, I wouldn't be surprised.
There isn't a lick of any of that stuff in the demo. Like, yes, you can talk to people. But
and that one lady says, hey, can you go, like, make sure my kids are okay? And your characters are like, yeah, we could do that for you.
No, she didn't she didn't ask you. She was just like, I got my husband to pick up the kids. And then Buster's just like, don't worry, we're going to save the city. We'll keep your kids safe. And he just sort of volunteered because he's already going to beat up the wizard, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It could, like I said, it's not.
It could
like
be anything. They could do literally anything with this. I'm just saying that there's no evidence towards it being any of the things that you're saying you're seeing in this. In my opinion,
I'm saying
there's
a little bit of evidence towards it, and I'm thinking that you're arguing that there's evidence against it, which I don't believe. There's more evidence towards it than against it.
There's nothing. There's nothing for it, in my opinion.
The NPCs you can talk to, the fact that there's actual names of the places that you can go to. Why would they take the time to name every single cell you're walking into, if not like to have to go back there?
Flavor.
To have to give you a map to reference. Potentially, yeah, it could just be flavor. But for a lot of different things, it's for a reason, you know? It's like when you watch a magician's trick. They don't do anything without a reason. You know, you're when you're playing a demo, you're trying to look for every little detail. Like I was saying, even with like Bridget turning no clip for those moments, like, oh, is that an indication that maybe there's going to be co-op in the future? They might never add co-op. Co-op might have never been on their thing. That might have just been something for their code so that like Bridget doesn't get clipped in and glitched out. But you look at it and you wonder, like, what could that lead to?
And it's a big leap to say RPG has anything to do with that, in my opinion.
And in my opinion, it's not that big a leap. Because when you're walking around, jumping, collecting those things, I got some very good Paper Mario 1000-Year Door vibes. And I don't know. I don't know what aspects of that they could bring to the game. Definitely not all of them, but who knows? Some. Maybe you can buy badges, like, or different things like that to equip to increase, like, your minigame things. Like, maybe they increase the timer of all mini games or whatnot, or give you like a little extra. Who knows? There could be a lot of different things they can add.
I mean, there's plenty of evidence that there's a badge system in this game, and that there are ways to edit the microgames.
No, then there you go. Maybe that's part of the RPG.
No, it was it was sarcasm.
I didn't realize what you were talking about, so I didn't know. But maybe there could be. They have a currency. What are you going to spend the currency on? Maybe just cosmetics. Maybe fucking badges or something. Who knows?
Well,
I think you're just narrow-minded. You're trying to close my mind and be like, no, it's just WarioWare. Just get me to the game. Shut up about all these NPC talking. It's fine, but I want WarioWare. Give me Subway Surfer. Give me Subway Surfer with my Fortnite and TikToks.
Dude, I'm talking about WarioWare here. Literally, you're just like go, go, go. Like it's a genre designed for that.
And
let's say
sometimes you can have that.
Let's say you want a hot dog with like ketchup on it, and then someone serves you hot dog with like grilled onions and some other, I don't know, like a whole bunch of stuff on top of it, and you're like, okay, well that's cool and all, but like I'm mainly just for the hot dog and the ketchup.
No.
Like
It's more like
I'm in a mood for something less spice.
It's more like you want a hot dog with ketchup, and you go to this place that serves you hot dogs via train, and the train comes out, and it's doing this whole big loop-de-loop, and you're just sitting there with your arms crossed, like, where's my fucking hot dog? Like, look at the train. It's some cool
fair.
shit that's going on, man.
If that's the only place that you can get hot dogs in, like, the whole town, and you just want to get in and get out, yeah, you'd be pissed.
I would never be pissed. You appreciate the train. They put so much work into that train. Why are you trying to fucking run past it so fast? Why are you not wanting more from that? What if the train had fireworks on it? That'd be cool.
Look, I gotta hop in and hop out. I need a quick meal. A hot dog is for that.
I feel like you're expecting too little. You're wanting too little of this. You're hamstringing.
I'm not saying
you're hamstringing this game.
I want a concise experience. Right? Like, I want what I'm here for.
Well,
and the thing is, and that's another thing that drives me crazy, is that you're saying all this random stuff about RPGs that there's nothing to do with RPGs in it. And of course I don't want it. I want to play my little funny little games. They need endless modes in this shit, so you can do like levels 100, 200, 300. That's what people are here for.
And I'm saying that's a little bit of an unrealistic expectation for something like Boom Buster. Because, yeah, they have the WarioWare aspects to it, but it's obviously not going to be like endless mode type of game where you're just jumping into the games. They have literally 90% of what you were streaming was just walking around in the overworld, talking to people. There was 2 sections where you did the micro games.
Look, I think if they don't add an endless mode, which I think that's something I can assume will happen, it's just not going to get as far off the ground as they'd like it to. You need, like, say you need to beat the story first to unlock it. That's completely fine. It needs to be included.
I think you're just trying to hamstring it into, like, sticking into its genre. I think it's trying to, like, do whatever it wants to do. Not saying it's trying to break grounds or, like, plant its foot, whatever genre. It's going to be whatever game it wants to be, include whatever elements it wants to be. If it doesn't stick too hard of just doing as much WarioWare as you want it to, then, I mean, so be it. It's their damn choice. If they want to put whatever elements into it,
yeah,
I feel like if they make this a whole big RPG open world exploration game and all your boss fights and combat interactions are just WarioWare games, then shit, cool. That's the game they want to make. If that's the direction they want to take it, I would like it that way, and I could see the groundwork being laid for that. I don't think it's a bad idea, and I don't think there's, it's like that's a dumb direction to go for it.
Well, I'm not saying they can't do that. I'm saying that they need to have an endless mode. Even if you beat
maybe
the story.
for just the micro games.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see that. I don't know. It seems like with everything they're doing, it seems they're trying to make that a game mechanic of it, but not trying to make that the game. Like it's a micro game. It's a WarioWare, I guess, like, if you want to call it that, but they threw so much onto the world and the characters and everything else that microgames are just going to be not a small part, but a part. Going to be like 50% of the game. 50% microgames, 50% world building. That's my prediction for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine, I guess, walking through the corridors and stuff. Like I said, the things that make you think or whatever, that's good. The spikes, they just felt weird.
Yeah, but it was the first, like, to show you what spikes are. It's always like when you go to the first areas of those video games, it's like if they're trying to make it so, like, if this is the first person or the first video game you've ever played, they got to make it somewhat easy. So who knows? Maybe they will actually add. I could agree with you. I don't really want, like, more challenging platforming parts with that kind of weird isometric side angle. Because it was already kind of hard, like, trying to get coins when they didn't have the shadow underneath them.
Yeah, well,
So I don't
the
know
coin
about
did
that.
have a
but-
shadow. Is that you don't have a shadow until you're in the air. But the spikes, it actually felt like there was a bit, like your window to jump for them it just felt pretty small, almost like it's too challenging. Even though I got almost every single one, like in a single try, there was like 2 that I couldn't get right away.
Yeah, but it's just even. You're right. It's just like, what's the point of them? It's other than just add like now you don't have to hold D or hold like all the way to the right. You have to press spacebar once. It's just it's kind of pointless.
Yeah,
Unless
but
you
the other
added, like,
things about walking around in the overworld are fine. It's mainly the spikes.
Yeah, if you add like a platform in the middle, so like there was always that thing of like you could either jump across or try to hit the middle to like get an extra bonus or something. I don't know, just to spice it up a little bit. But even then, yeah, it just seems kind of pointless if you're not gonna try to go for platforming. It's the weird bit amount of platforming they added in. I don't get it.
Yeah, but I'm looking for it. I'm assuming it's going to be really good. I just don't like the spikes.
Or any of the RPG elements that potentially could
I'm
be coming
arguing
through
with you that there's not a hint of it. I don't see it. I'm looking for it. I can't find it, and I don't think that they are trying to do that. So I'm not arguing against their vision of the game. I'm arguing against your vision of the game.
And I'm saying my vision of the game might be their vision of the game. So
That's
in a way, you kind of
so
are
much.
arguing about their vision of the game.
I'm not. You're putting yourself in the
You
middle
might
of
be.
it.
You might be.
I don't think I am. I think
if you
you're crazy.
You'll
is
have
what it is.
You will have quite an egg on your face, quite a foot in your mouth, whatever
I'll
choose your
accept it.
metaphor.
I'll accept it. I don't care.
If they add in a thing of like now you can add your coins to buy badges for different microgames, and I expect you to
I'll
do
eat
a
my
full
shoe.
Dogeza apology on this fucking podcast.
I am so confident that is not going to be the case.
If I see the word badge, I'm gonna look at Buster Jam. If I see the word badge one time in their press release, you are going down,
Go
coffee
for it.
boy.
Absolutely go for it. I am much more familiar with this genre than you.
I would
know
agree
what
with that.
The gamers are here for. If you're doing a style of game like this. Like Air Riders, it kept up with its sort of original promise of the series. It's the only racer of its like type, I feel. And they knew what people liked about the original and doubled down on that.
City Trial. Yeah, I mean they doubled down on like a lot of things. Not only did they make City Trial better, but they added the solo mode. They they improved on a lot of different things with the overhead races and whatnot. Like I don't know, they just doubled down on everything. I think they realized that game, the Kirby Air Ride, was like a hidden gem, and they should have put a lot more into it. And we're like, all right, we're gonna give this the love and attention it deserves.
Yeah, I heard it just like had it just had a really poor release window. Like GameCube had a lot of other games that were going to, eat up the money that you could have spent on Kirby Air Ride.
I think just a lot of development for especially the GameCube, not only the launch window, but a few years afterwards was just messy. Like a lot of, because you hear about
was like
Melee.
2 years into its life or something.
What'd you say? Sorry.
It was like 2 years
kinda
into the GameCube's life, like 1 or 2 years that Kirby Air Ride came out. It wasn't a launch title. So I'm saying it does fit within the time frame that you were talking about.
Right, yeah. Melee was a launch title and was like notoriously had the big crunch period, and a lot of the ones afterwards seemingly were like scrambling to like try to make good launch windows of try to make those within the holiday season and whatnot. They were trying to tweak and like change development times, so a lot of the first couple year GameCube games really got wrecked with their development cycles. You can watch YouTube essays about them, about like the first Resident Evil games that came out on GameCube. Like Capcom had the super notorious deal with Nintendo that kind of went through, and that had a whole Resident Evil 3 ended up being on PlayStation, whereas one of them ended up being on, I think, like Sega or something like that. I forget. They had a whole, and then Resident Evil 4 ended up being only for GameCube, but then that ended up falling through too. There was a lot of fuckery with the initial, like, first, I wouldn't say even 3 or 4 years of the GameCube development cycle. A lot of their development cycles got a wrench thrown into them.
Yeah, well, I'm just arguing that the game got pushed out by other competitors at the time, alongside all the stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah, I wonder if that was like, because I wonder if that was more of a pre or post thing. Because the way you're talking about it is like it didn't get the attention, but I wonder if it also didn't get like the pre-game attention because of that. You know, like they were not thinking it was gonna be like a big release title, so they're like, all right, we're not gonna put too much development, time into that. Just let it. I haven't watched any video essays on Kirby Air Ride, but
I'm just saying this. My perspective of it is that it includes this. This is the part that I learned about. You learned about something else. With the powers combined, sold like shit.
Yeah, unfortunate because it had such a good reputation, and with this Kirby Air Riders, yeah, they've definitely done good work.
Yeah. You got something else to talk about? Talk about only this for the most of the episode.
We even talked about Kirby Air Riders a whole lot.
No, we were talking about I guess the WarioWare likes, and
yeah.
Kirby came as like in a reference to that. Tell me something about sports. Tell me something about wrestling.
I mean, we were talking about John Cena earlier, but wrestling has one of the greatest tag teams that was underappreciated at the time. It was Eddie Guerrero and a partner at the time to a team called Los Gringos Locos.
Crazy ass white boys.
Exactly. When Eddie Guerrero first came to WCW, he came with a lot of other Mexican stars like Rey Mysterio, La Parca, Psychosis, who were very recognizable with their masks, right? When they came at like bringing this lucha libre style, their masks were the thing that like kind of sold their image. So when Eddie Guerrero came over with this lucha libre style, he had to figure out something, I guess that would set him apart or whatever to try and make him a sort of heel. But he was a really good wrestler, so when he tried to be a heel as the Mexican-born guy playing the, oh yeah, Viva America, baby, America #1, he came over as like everybody loved him. So it didn't really like push his career the way he thought it was. But Los Gringos Locos are coming back now with two of the hottest wrestlers on the stage. You got Dominic Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio, who's had his whole... We watched the Custody of Dominic ladder match.
I could assume the relation.
Yeah, it's that
not
same
a very
kid.
Common name.
That same exact kid whose custody was, won by Rey Mysterio that night. He and Rey Mysterio cut promos where he's like, Rey Mysterio talks to his son, like, you got to forget about Eddie, and living the way he did. His life wasn't the best life. And Dominic will just say, keep my father's name out of your mouth, because he's a heel and he thinks Eddie was his dad. And Rey Mysterio's the face who's like trying to be the good father or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But Dominic Mysterio and this other guy, I think I've told you about him before, El Grande Americano.
You might have told me about him before, yeah.
He's a luchador who was played originally by this guy, Chad Gable, who tried to do a big goof on luchadors, just wearing like a mask all crooked and being like, oh, I'm big man luchador, and playing a big joke on it. But then he got injured.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You have this like the first round of, crazy ass white boys, and they're like got the lucha libre mask, and it's just they're trying to be heels, you said? And everyone just loved them.
Everybody just like loved Eddie Guerrero because he was like, oh, he's a good wrestler and he's America, woo!
But this guy, he's disrespecting the luchador culture.
Yes,
by wearing his mask all funny, and that could make him an actual heel. They just needed to adjust, like, oh wait, who do they actually dislike? I'll make him do this.
So he starts off as an actual heel, but the guy under the mask of El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, gets hurt. And this new guy has to take over named Ludwig Kaiser, who's much taller, much skinnier, like obviously not fucking Chad Gable. So when he puts on the mask and he's like, oh, I'm still Grande Americano, everybody's like, definitely not. What's going on here?
You're a German man.
Exactly. Like, you're a tall German man. What the hell happened? But so they kind of tell him like, oh, we know it's not you, but like, we kind of have to go with this thing of like, you're under the mask, so like nobody can prove it's not you. So they give him this kind of leeway to play with the character. And Ludwig Kaiser takes El Grande Americano to the fucking moon like nobody has ever seen before. He's walking out, like holding out his hand, like all regally, like, you know, how someone would ask you to kiss the ring, to everybody like in the stands. Like all the women are like rushing to grab his hand. He's got people like singing along to his theme song. He's playing this character so well. He's like this 6'3" pale white guy who's got all of Mexico rushing to like shake his hand and like hail him as a #1 hero. He's doing it so good.
I feel like
and
having like the American character is a thing in a lot of different like cultures and in their media. Like you remember?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And he's doing that to like the utmost. Like he's literally like the way he walks out, like he walks with his chest forward, both hands out, like just expecting somebody to come up and kiss his rings. Always, like he's just walking around like that, all like the most pompous you could possibly be. Like he's a cartoon character, and he does it so committedly. Like people absolutely love him. And him and Dominic Mysterio are now forming together to make Los Gringos Locos V2, and it's gonna be some of the most banger shit. I can't wait for it.
That's good. Yeah, I remember we had a luchador mask lying around in the fraternity, and every once in a while I'd put it on and I'd do the Professor Scott Steiner thing, which is really only the crossover with the fact that they're both wrestling. If I really wanted to get into it, I would wear the chainmail.
You gotta go the full chainmail over, yeah. You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe, you see that statement is not true.
I'm saving
Scott
up on
Steiner
the stream
before he would go on to lose to Samoa Joe at Sacrifice.
There's some good shit talking though.
Yeah, have I ever shown you a Big Papa Pump's workout video where he uses girls instead of weights?
I think you have.
It's pretty awesome.
Like have
That's
him
pretty
holding
awesome.
on to the bench press bar.
Yeah, like the girls are sitting on each side.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great because I guess like Scott Steiner is one of those guys who is like, I don't know if he's like ultra religious, but he's like kept himself to like he's a guy that I've seen pictured with a Bible, so I would assume he's a man of faith and has never had like really bad allegations about him. But he can just play that character of just like, and that I guess that helps him play that character of like, oh, come here, ladies, and just no problems. He could just be that weird kind of guy and then turn it on and off, I guess, because he's being that, oh yeah, I want the hot babes on me while I lift weights. But normally when you see that kind of guy, you think he's a bit of a creep. But Scott Steiner, A1, he's a good guy. He's just doing that for a funny, and he does it well.
Yeah, I think it's the chainmail cowl. Ladies love a chainmail cowl.
Hell yeah, man. Can't beat the chainmail.
Yeah. Medieval philosophy.
Speaking of what else you can't beat, the medieval philosophies of cold hard trash as we end up this episode of CRT episode 7010. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed what you heard about wrestling, about these demo games that we're talking about at Steam, about WarioWare, if you agree with me about I already forgot the name of the boom shit. I'm losing it. I'm
not reminding you.
Well, I'm gonna find it, and then you're gonna be a fool.
Every listen where we don't get a comment that affirms what you were saying is just as good as a comment against what you're saying.
Yeah, bullshit.
In my opinion.
If you think the way that I do about Buster Jam, aka the right way, that it might be one day a cool RPG a la Paper Mario, then please comment and subscribe and tell Breeeg that he is a dumb idiot stupid pants who drinks coffee like an idiot, and the coffee will rot his brain and his teeth and makes him smell like poop. Goodbye.
See ya.